Hi, I'm in my studio and here is my beautiful press. It's a Tackage 30 by 48. I'm thrilled with it and I'm going to make beautiful art with it. In fact, I've already started a couple of really neat things that I'm excited about, new designs. I thought I would go over today this idea that I've repeated time and time again when I'm teaching workshops or one-on-one. And it's the idea of it starts with the drawing. So I thought I'd show that to you, this whole idea that you've got to have a good drawing or you can't have a final good design in print. So on my newest piece is called Summer. That's what I've named it. And I'll show it to you in a second. But I want to show you how I got to the finished design of Summer. So here I go. I'm going to show it to you here on my table, sort of the steps I went through to get to the refined and finished print. Okay, hold on a second. Turn this down. I hope you can see some of this stuff I'm going to show you. We'll find out. All right, so I started with the idea of these wonderful summer squash that I've got growing out in the garden. And I am so enchanted by them. So I did my first really rough sketch of the vine, the tendrils, the big leaves, the big foliage. Here's one of the squash blossoms. I kind of just roughed that out on a piece of drawing paper. From there, I refined it into a better drawing with the details, the veins, the blossom ripples, the little circular shapes on the tendrils. But then I took it and put it up on a wall and lived with it for a couple days and decided that I wanted to rearrange some of the components. And so I literally cut them apart and taped them together and sort of rearranged them so that I was happier with the leaf being here and the blossom being closer to the leaf and just design decisions. So believe it or not, this was my reference to go from here to my trace. And this is done on what I use is glassine. And this is my final trace of the drawing. And again, I did it in pencil first. Looked at it, lived with it, and then came in with a felt tip pen. And I was happy with it, but occasionally there's little lines that I eliminate, like any of those lines that have the little hash marks on them, like that one. That means don't use it because it's been rejected or been modified. So I finally got this to the place where I was happy with it, took it in reverse, and laid it on my piece of linoleum. This is my linoleum block, and it's mounted on a piece of masonite. So this linoleum block had the drawing face down on it, and then with carbon paper, remember carbon paper? I traced it onto the linoleum and then began the carving. So this is the block. I'm real happy with it. It came out pretty darn nice. Needless to say, it took me a number of days to get this all kind of carved and happy. And it's a square, 16 by 16, which I use often. And so there's the block. From there, I inked it with my inks over here. And the first test print I did on my beautiful new press was this. And I printed it in black ink. Happy with that, looked at it, thought about it, got out my papers, all my beautiful papers that I use for Shinkale, and decided that instead of a black ink, I'd like to try a gold ink. And so I inked it up with gold, but before I did that, I found some paper that I was real happy with, and it's a beautiful weavy gold paper. Let me go get some and I'll show you. This is it. It's a gorgeous paper from the third world, probably India. I think it's Lakta, what they call Lakta, and has a brushed gold pattern to it. So I had a few sheets of that, and I thought that would be nice as a base under the print. As you know, I like to do chine-collé, which is a collage technique. So what I did as a final print, and I have done 4 of these, and they are available for purchase. And I'll put those on my newsletter. I came up with this, and this is the final version that I'm satisfied with. I hope you like it too. You see that the yellow are cut out pieces of a different colored yellow paper. This is a squash blossom as a new blossom before it opens, and then this is the blossom opened, and these are the tendrils and the leaves in gold ink. So I hope that is of interest to you and that you enjoyed this little story about how I get to where I get with my imagery. Thank you.